Hello, everyone. Welcome back to PPIC, which is Paranormal Partners in Crime. I'm Dee, and this is
Kathy, Ma.
why you say like ma?
Because that's how you and Brandon said.
Welcome back,
Ma.
everyone. So today we were originally supposed to talk about family phantoms, but due to some events which occurred. Instead, we're going to talk about misconceptions that happen whenever we discuss spiritual gifts or whenever someone has spiritual gifts, and how I'm even going to take it a step further and talk about how these misconceptions can play into how people perceive their gifts and whether or not they actually want to take part in their gifts. So I'm going to say a vague story. A vague
Vague.
story, very vague, very vague. Okay. So there was someone who stated in this vague story, once upon a time, and allegedly, I gotta say all the legal things. Someone told someone else, right? There are two ways to get gifts. This person said you either get it through God or you get it the other way. And then they
What
said
is
D.
the other way?
Yeah, they said D got it the other way, right? I'm D. I
But
just
I want to know what the other way is.
And so I did too, because I was confused, because I was like the other way through your bloodline and lineage, because everyone in the family has it. And then before this person explained, they said, you know, because of the way I got it, and because the person who has 50% of the DNA that was given to me is a Christian, I got it the good way. And they said, D, on the other hand, D got it the other way, and that is not through God. D got it the bad way. And here I am being fully D, still unaware of what the bad way is. Because again, my thought was like, oh, through the bloodline. Because again, on my mom's side, both her parents' families have it. And then I have
And are
found
Christians.
in there, yeah, they are Christians. Now, I'm not a Christian, but I was a Christian when I got the gifts. Okay. So, questions. But then on the my father's side, I found out that also his family has gifts. Mind you, they're all Christians as well, right? And I think this is where a lot of black people in particular, I'm only speaking for black people because I am black and I am a people. So like there's an intersection between being black and a person, right?
Okay.
So I think this is exactly why a lot of black people, originally the enslaved black people, hid so much of this in the Christian religion to the point where a lot of people felt like their families have always been Christians when they never were. They were hiding their gifts
Behind.
and yeah, behind Christianity, right? But then I also feel like this is why I'm thinking about grandma in particular. This is why a lot of people continue to just be like, no, thank you. I'm just going to be a Christian and just stick with this instead of doing whatever that is. And so a lot of people denounce their gifts.
Correct.
So, and I feel like grandma tried to like stay between both worlds, but
Yeah.
even with that, she was still called witchy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for a lot of people, this particular person said, the reason I know these gifts aren't from God is because D can astral project. And of all the gifts, why is that one the forbidden one? I have no idea. They just said that people should not be able to have that gift.
Why? Okay, I'm sorry, but
Now, I told this story to someone else, and that person says it sounds like jealousy to me, which I think
very
is a
much
dumb
so.
thing. Because, and again, I don't understand jealousy. So, this is something my therapist and I be talking about all the time. But, like, why would you be jealous if you got gifts? And just by chance, this person says they have the same gift that I have of dreaming. This is my first time hearing this. And so I was like, but it's interesting if you have gifts.
Why are you jealous?
But I'm not saying they're jealous. So because that was not even a thought in my brain. What is it about the way I navigate my life that makes you feel like you're comfortable assuming that I am evil? Is it because I'm not a Christian? And for a lot of Christians, anything not Christian is automatically evil? Is that's my question. I don't know. Qu- Questions, Ma?
I
Answers?
mean, this week I asked you also about hoodoo, and I looked I looked it up also, and you also told me, because I always have to, whenever I'm inquisitive or wondering or curious about something, I have to do my own research also.
Mhm.
And it says that it came from traditions that
Mhm.
people brought from
Mhm.
Africa, and also a mixture of Christianity.
Mhm.
That's why to me it has never been about being witchy, because I have never used my gift for anything negative or to hurt anybody. It's
Mhm.
always been a positive. And I have lied and said that I didn't know something because I didn't want to hurt somebody.
Mhm. And so I think that a misconception is the term witchy. People assume witchy means evil
Right.
because I don't actually, well, I know why. Because in America, not just in America, overall, the term witch is a lot of times think of like Salem witch trials, which is also why women don't have more pockets on their clothing because they thought that if women had pockets, they would carry things to do spells with, and so they quit making
Shut
pockets for women's
up.
clothing. Correct. And so when the fashion industry evolved and still moved past that, they were like, "Oh, but we got them buying purses now, so we're still not going to go back to make putting pockets on things." But originally, it was so women couldn't hold spells and like things to like charm or curse
Don't
people.
turn it on.
So there was that. But I think that a lot of people already buy into the narrative that witchy means evil or that something sinister is going on when it
Right.
doesn't. But like it's very interesting to draw these parallels with gifts, but then to not even look at the parallels between Christianity and
Mhm.
other outlier religions. So for instance, and this is when I already feel the
Wait,
comments.
wait. Let me say this. I
Mhm.
think that the way that people like to say which, or if you are able to do something that they're not able to do, how it's easy to blame somebody or say that somebody is evil. I think
Mhm.
that that's probably how the Salem witch trials started.
Legitimately. But also like I think that for Abrahamic religion, so that's Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, I think that people who practice those religions oftentimes are have grown up in those religions, so they don't
Hmm.
really dissect the religion and the practices to the point that someone who either studied, because I studied it quite often, between me studying, you already know how much I used to study the Bible, but also me studying classes in school, and then me looking at it from an outsider perspective now, like people don't consider if someone is Hindu or Buddhist or trying to think of other religions, the different levels of Islam that aren't necessarily attached to traditional Abrahamic religions, and they're looking in at their religion and they say things like, "This is my body, eat it to show my death until I come. This is my blood, drink it and to show my death until I come." So like to other people, they're like, "Oh, they're doing blood magic,
Hmm.
drinking the body, the blood of
The
this
blood and eating the body.
and eating the body. This is blood magic." So by me saying that, I know I'm gonna get crucified. Ooh, I ain't even gonna say that word. I know I'm gonna be attacked because I feel like that was just too on the nose with the pun. I know I'm going to be attacked for saying that, but I have to say that because when you're only used to seeing your religion through your mindset, you're unaware
Mhm.
how other people view your religion from the outside, right? And so, and that the same thing happens with me and my gifts. I've only seen my gifts through a positive lens because of the environment in which I've been able to cultivate and grow my gifts in. Now, grandma knew that wasn't the case. And so, we did a whole bunch of Christian things together, but at some point I had to make the decision, do I follow the gift or do I follow a religion that I grew up in even if it doesn't resonate with me anymore? And it was beyond just the gift. It was the way I am navigating life and all of that just doesn't resonate with Christianity anymore. That's where we are, right? But that doesn't make the gift bad. Doesn't make the gift evil. Like you stated, it's how you use your gift that decides what it is.
I mean, because how many people that we know that are Christians, but have hurt so many people until people have stayed away from church?
Yes.
And how many lives have been massacred or killed or taken because in the name of Jesus Christ, even though it was in the name of some cruel ruler or some
Mhm.
cruel person?
Mhm. Exactly. And I say this often, your spiritual practice is going to always be a reflection of who you are,
Exactly.
regardless of what it is. No matter how peaceful the practice is or how violent the practice is, it's going to be a reflection of who you are as a person.
Exactly.
So, no matter what my gifts were or are or will be as I continue to acquire more, they're always going to be a reflection of who I am as a person.
Exactly.
And there's that dichotomy of people gaining more power and like, oh, they changed. They were always that person. They just didn't have the power to fully be that person,
Right.
right? And so I think that's kind of where I am, like looking at this whole situation. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to block that person from my social media because people send you energy.
Yep.
I don't want that person consuming me, knowing the energy they're sending towards me.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I know that's probably a weird thing to say, like consuming you, but like by them watching my videos, commenting on my posts, they're getting pieces of my energy that, quite frankly, I don't feel like they deserve to have pieces of, right?
Totally understand.
And everything that we put energy into, we take a little energy from.
Hmm.
I don't want that energy knowingly. But that's also why I'm very cautious when people say, "Oh, I'll pray for you." Don't do that. I'm good. Pray for those who would like that. I'm not. Don't because your intentions are not aligned with who I am and how I'm living.
Right.
So,
Because I feel I strongly feel that way, that everybody that prays for you aren't for you.
mhm,
And
mhm.
what are they praying for you? Hold on one second. If you want to go outside with the boys, you can, or with Uncle David. You sure? Okay. So I very strongly feel like you don't ask from you don't ask for prayer from everybody, because everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart.
And you don't accept prayer from everyone either. Not
Right.
just ask, don't accept it. I used to be like, "Oh, thank you," and just kind of like shrug it off, but now I'm not. So one thing that I've started doing is really leaning into the way I control and transmute energy. So instead of allowing whatever energy comes my way to just come my way, I will say, um, any negative energy from a you, like whoever that person is, um, I'll use it to do like increase my beauty as it transmutes. So negative energy, I'm gonna change it to something positive, and I'm gonna use it to increase my beauty, or I'm gonna use it to increase my health. Whatever it is, I'm gonna use that energy. I'm gonna change it, transmute it to something else as I cross it out, and this is the purpose I want it to serve now. So, and it's so funny because I forgot who I was talking to recently, but I know you and I talked about it, how much I used to love Psalms and Proverbs
Mm-hmm.
because it's books of spells. The whole Bible is books of spells. So that's why they'll say, like, oh, you need this done. This is the prayer you need to pray. You need this done. This is the prayer you need to pray. Go look at verse so and so. It's a spell book because like words have power. No matter what the words are, where the words are from, they're all powerful, right?
But people have an issue with spells. They would prefer it to be a prayer, or you say this to help you with this, but whenever you throw the word spell in there, then people get scared or people feel that you're evil and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing something wrong. So I really feel like when when people talk about the Bible, they don't want to hear a spell.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything, Danielle. Like, you have to watch the way that you say certain things because people will misconstrue them. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that when you say the Bible is full of spells, because they will say if you're having this problem, you read this, or you having
Mm-hmm.
this problem. But if you just tell somebody to read the Bible, or this is what you need to read, then they will
Mm-hmm.
read it and it won't carry the weight of this is a spell.
And so this is something I talk about often, and I forgot the original thing I was talking about or teaching when I talked about this. Oh, I was talking about double speak, and it's very
Double what?
Orwellian. Double speak. So
Okay.
like this is a Orwellian George Orwell 1984 Animal Farm. This is an Orwellian thing that happens, and again we see it a lot in any society where whenever something is framed a certain way, it's okay. But if you say that same thing to a different group of people, vastly different.
That's
So
right.
we talk about, like you just said, how like Christians feel some sort of way whenever you say like, "Oh, this is a prayer, not a spell." Can you
Right.
tell me the difference between the two?
There isn't, but it's
You know
like
what
you
I'm saying?
said, it's double talk
Mm-hmm.
because people feel like a spell is evil. A spell is witchy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, how many okay, all right, I got one for you. You know how you hear, and this is so silly, you know how like on Charm that they would chant,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know how Hindus chant
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing.
Buddhist, yeah. And
Buddhists,
we do it, but we do it differently. Like when Christians do it, but they do it differently as
yeah,
well.
I mean,
Because all
yea, though I
gospel
walk
songs,
through the valley of the shadow of death. How many
that too.
times have you said that when you were scared or you?
Mm-hmm. Or Emmanuel, God be with us,
Yes.
is one of the easier ones. But also
Yeah.
like listening to the lyrics of gospel songs, which are filled with Bible verses a lot of times. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Just so people can keep remembering them and keep them on hand.
Yes.
Same energy, yeah. And then another form of like double speak is the way we talk about someone being possessed versus someone filled with the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
So like being possessed versus filled with the Holy Ghost, there's still something outside of your body entering your body. You know what I mean? Like that you said, you can take over my body. It's the same energy, or the same, not the same energy, because I don't know what you're using. It's the same idea, but if you go with the dominant society, it's framed differently, right? And so this goes back, so I'm making a full circle. And this is the only thing I can imagine is why astral projecting is one of the ones that this person believes no one should have um, access to, is because when I allow my soul to leave my body, they think that I'm just leaving my body a bare something for something to go into. That's incorrect. What is the whole point of having a whole spiritual team if you're not gonna have them guard your body? That's their job. Like their job is like if you believe in a guardian angel, why don't you believe your guardian angel is guarding your body when you put them on the task? But if I say the word spirit team guarding my body, now you feel like, oh, it's something different, which is interesting, super interesting. And that's the only reason I can think of them feeling like, oh, that's not a gift we're supposed to have. But and
Because
there's
something
a lot
else
of
could jump into your body while you're
yeah,
leaving, while
but
you.
But if you talk to your spirit team, they got that on lock. That's
Well,
not gonna.
maybe they don't have a spirit team. Maybe they don't have somebody watching over them at all times, or maybe they don't feel like they have somebody watching over them.
Or maybe they don't believe in it.
Maybe they don't. I see you got that Dorothy look on your face right now.
But it's just my face.
Nope,
This-
you got that. No, you got that. Okay.
no, but like, and I think it really does make me wonder though. Um, and I know that people do this all the time where people project their insecurities and, their
That's
shortcomings
right.
and all of that onto other people. But in a world, and I was talking to Homeboy about this,
Yes.
and I was, because he was like, bro, I think he called me, he said, girl, you're not evil. And I'm like, bro, I know this. Like, you don't got to tell me this. And then I said, the thing is, and this is what I love about the way I practice spirituality. I said, unlike other religions that say only these amount of people can enjoy a better version of like themselves and of earth, I want everyone to experience it, even if they don't like me. You don't gotta like me for me to want
That's
you to
right.
experience a better life,
That's
for
exactly
me to
right.
want to experience the highest frequency we can be on as a people. I don't care if you believe in what I believe in. I just don't. I
I
don't.
still want you to have a good life.
Right. Like I still want you to be at your highest frequency, being the best person on the best available earth we can create together
That's
in
right.
unity without you having to have my belief system. And I
Exactly.
think more traditional religions don't feel that way. And I think that's why it's hard for them to think, oh well, that's just the front. That's how they're gonna get them in. Like I think it's a lot easier for them to feel like there's no way you feel that way. You're really secretly trying to turn people to your side. And I'm not.
No,
Because I don't believe that everybody should be exercising their gifts. Because we've seen some people who don't know how to like control their gifts happen. Like they have psychotic breaks and different
mhm.
type of episodes, and like there's a whole lot of things. If that's not for you, go with what's for you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I think that there's that misconception of like, oh, you want everyone to believe like you do. I don't. I don't go out to people's house and say, you know what you should do? You should become more spiritual. Here's some
Nope.
sage. Like, start today. I'm gonna leave this right here. Do you know about sage? Like, I'm not doing that. And it's because everyone deserves the right to choose how they
how
pray,
they how
how they
but
fellowship with God.
how they navigate their religious life, their spiritual life, their life.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
Without
mean, because this is the way that I feel, because I can't tell you which way to go,
hmm
because I don't want to be, because I am a Christian, I don't want to be responsible when I stand in front of my maker and he says he judges me because of my things. I'm only going to be responsible for me. I don't want to be responsible for somebody else. I don't
hmm
want to be responsible for, I mean, and my children are grown now. So I am definitely not responsible for you two. So,
hmm
but you know what I'm saying?
hmm
But I am not going to, I'm going to
I know you
continue.
got 4 kids, but keep going.
Yes, that is true. But I would never for any of them. But,
Yep.
but I don't want years later for you to say, well, she told me that the only way to go was through the Christian faith, and now I hate her and hate Christians for everything that she's taught me.
Oh, goodness.
I mean,
You know, mind you, Ma, I'm the one who got you like back deep into Christianity.
yes,
So that's why it's funny that people would be like, "Oh, she got her gifts through evil," when I was like heavy in Christianity.
yes,
But that's how I know it's also not for me because I did it. I devoted my life to it so aggressively that when I learned things that was no longer congruent with that belief system, and I think this is also a thing. Like there's certain things in life people feel like should not be able to be changed.
like,
Religion that you grew up with, gender, and sexuality. I feel like
Okay,
people feel some sort of way about anytime you want to change those three things.
I understand that.
And so I again like I feel like whenever you really begin to get to know yourself, those things can change. You got to be okay with that.
But also, I feel like, who am I to tell you who you're supposed to be or who you want to be or who you want to identify with? Just because you identify as a painting, you know, I identify as a skinny woman. I mean,
But again, as long as I'm not harming people,
right.
what's
Not
the
causing harm to anybody.
exactly? What are we doing here?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
what are we worried about? But and I feel like we're losing out on people who would be great doing this work because of their fear. And I would love, and that's why when someone in my family this week, their gift came in, and I knew it was coming in because I can just tell with this particular person, our energy is just too in sync for it to not have come in. And I was like, and I called it, I felt it, I knew it. Their team and my team been talking for a hot minute. And so when it did come in, and I talked to the person who was with them when it came in, I was like, if they want it, I will help them navigate it. If they don't want it, I will also help them get rid of it. You have that right.
That's right. That is
And then
right.
even with the person who used to be in your home,
Yes.
whenever they were having a problem with a spiritual situation, I was like, you want me to make it stop? Teach you how to make it stop? Or are you okay with it? I think we
Mhm.
deserve that option.
Right.
So,
And to me, there is nothing wrong with the way that you come forth and say, I will help you with it, because due to the fact that we have been scared to practice because people think it's evil. I mean, it's our lineage, it is
mhm,
our heritage. And because of being scared that somebody's going to call us witchy or witchcraft or evil, we have hid it so much that we don't have somebody that knows more, that can teach us, that can guide us more. So
mhm,
when you do what you do by helping people, it's keeping it alive, plus it's giving them somebody to come to whenever they need it.
exactly. Exactly. And I definitely feel like, again, I can only speak for being a black person because I'm only in the black community. I feel like in a lot of black families, this stuff is hidden so much that if someone starts facing it or they come into their gifts or they suspect that something's going on, they hide it, they self medicate, which we've seen in our family
Yes.
because it's scary, it's a lot to handle. We see how anxiety plays in this. We see how
Mhm.
people um, go into a lot of different mental things, like where they are like trapped within their own like predictable bubble because if they go too far out, they're around different energy. Different energy brings
Right.
in different gifts. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If they go to a different place, again, every place has energy. That's gonna bring
Mhm.
in more hits. And if you never know how to control that, it can be scary.
Right. Sorry, I got to walk out to my pot because I am not going to let these oxtails. Oh, and that is my spiritual gift. Yeah, they taste amazing.
Are you doing the Jamaican or the
Yes, I am.
okay.
Well, you know what? I'm doing a mixture of Jamaica. Since you taught me how to make it with the beans, I always do it with the beans now.
Okay. To get it nice
But
and thick.
yes, but I also throw a little bit of Dorothy Strong in there because I put me
The
some.
ham hocks in there?
No, I put me some potatoes and
Okay.
some onions and hey, I just let me just look.
Okay. Are
And
they
they,
gluten free?
huh?
Are they gluten free or did you put flour in there?
No flour.
Uh-oh. Me trying to figure out what's the next holiday.
You know what? I'm so
What
over your bread. I'm so over
is the
you.
next holiday?
That smells so good. Listen, everything just throwing off the aroma. Got my apple peach dump cake. Listen, does this not sound like Sunday dinner? Homemade mac and cheese and my oxtails.
You got the kids over, so you got to cook for them.
Well, the male child, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to say his name on there.
No,
The
I wouldn't.
male child, he is trying to stay in shape for soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So he has said he will cheat today since, yeah, he is he's trying to, stay in shape. Plus he said this year he wants to come back to school with a six pack.
Okay.
So he is, really strict on his I don't want to say diet, on his fitness, but
Mm-hmm.
he said he will cheat today
Mm-hmm.
if Uncle David is cheating today.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
So,
Um, but also, I want to say we have to dissect, and this was who is who was I talking to this about? I think it was either you or my partner, which is ironic because I think it was actually both of y'all. It's ironic for my partner. So my partner is from Africa. My partner is a Christian who speaks against the occult all the time. And then I was like, "Do you know who you're dating?" And they're like, "Yes, I know you're a good person. I know that you would never do anything to hurt anyone else." But they were saying the reason people feel the way they do about people with gifts or people following non-Christian traditions is because of the way colonialism has impacted all of the other countries and the way colonialism talks about non-Christian religions.
mhm,
They said even if it is another Brahmic religion, colonialism still says Christianity or it's evil. And they
mhm,
said especially when you're relating that to African traditions. And then you also talked about too when you're talking about African traditions, which I think is sad, especially coming from the person in Africa. But the person who said this about me is black. We have a lot of different races in my family, so I got to, I guess, be specific about that too. We got Mexican, white, black, Samoan, and Chinese.
Polynesian.
Yeah, Samoan. She's Samoan. So yeah, so we got a lot, but this person was black in particular. So that's why. Oh, and the other person who told me we're talking about it because they recommended me a book. So I've had this conversation a lot within the past 3 days that this happened. But yeah, so it is about how other religions are perceived. And that's why I really challenge people to learn about other religions, but it's
Mhm.
hard to do that outside of biases.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was at your house and someone recently said, I don't question or get to know anything about religion or sexuality because I don't want it to shake my religion or my sexuality. And I thought that was interesting because, like I
Yeah.
said then, like if it shakes it, could it just be that you learn new information that you not have to like account for? Because there's
Mhm.
some things that won't shake who I am. And the example, this is not a PG conversation, but I'm gonna use the example I used anyway. I said I like penises, right? Knowing vaginas exist never changed me liking penises. I knew they existed.
Correct.
I have one. I've had it my whole life, right? Knowing other people had it wasn't like, you know what, maybe I don't like penises. Let me backtrack. I was like, yeah, I still like penises. Nothing has you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chances are when you're learning something and if it shakes you to your core, look further into it. I think
Exactly.
I think by us stepping back and being like, "Oh, I don't want to tackle this," that leaves way for a lot of insecurity and a lot of ignorance.
That's what I was gonna say. I think the whole ignorant thing. That's why I know that you say a lot of times, like how I get into doing research on something, because in my head, if it doesn't make sense, or if it leaves me with questions, I'm going to research it more. I mean, me being in the healthcare field, if there is something that I don't understand, that it could not even be on something that a nurse would do. If I think that I need to know it for a reason, I'm going to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Even because, like you said, because it shakes me, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to see this, or I've seen it too many times and I didn't know what to do, so I need to find out what I need to do.
And I think that's why you should be tackling any and everything. Like there there is so much in life that I realize like I have questions. And I don't know how I navigated life so long without Google. Like honestly, I don't know how I did it.
But us,
Yeah, but also encyclopedias. But like the questions I had, they were gonna get out of hand for y'all real soon.
yeah, from like 6 years old.
Cause like some of them like y'all be like, I don't know. Let me go
Give
ask.
us time. Let me go.
Right.
Yes.
And I was like, I need the answers now. But like I realized I've acquired a lot of what could seemingly be random information. And
Mm-hmm.
people who know me for the last 20 years know that.
Yes.
But like reconnecting with someone who I haven't talked to this extent in 20 years, and they're like, how do you know all this random stuff? I'm like, bro, I just be having questions. And then once I have a
Exactly.
question, I gotta go find the answer like immediately. Like I just can't be living my life with questions. And they're like, well, how do you like know to ask these questions? My brain just be producing questions. I don't know, bro.
I
So
know today I was getting because once a year your supervisor has to come out and watch you work. And at the end she was writing down my credentials, and she said, "Are you I said, "No." She's like, "Why do I think that?" Because she's like, "You have so many answers to so," because I ask questions. I want to know.
hmm
And I've had people, I told you before that when I was employee of the month, they were like, "Oh, they didn't put your correct title down. You should be really mad." I said, "No, that's my correct title."
hmm
"Well, how do you know?" Because I want to know.
hmm
I It's like I thirst to know more, and if you have something, I mean, how many times have we done research and asked questions? I'm sure people see us coming at the family reunion and be like, "Oh, here they go, ask us some more health
Because
questions."
one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask a question,
Yeah, I'm
whether you
gonna
want to or
ask.
not. I ain't even supposed to be in a room, but while I'm in here though, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask all the
Ask.
questions.
I'm asking.
All of them. All of them. But like I think that for a lot of people brought up in certain religions, they're not allowed to ask questions because one of the things that
Right,
you're not supposed to question God.
right.
You mean a person who literally created me and knew me before I was even a speck in the universe? That person
But
said I'm
see,
not supposed to question him?
all right, listen, I know I'll get a lot of backlash for this, but I think that was a man made word. You're not supposed to question, or you're
Most
not
of them.
supposed to
Most of them.
ask,
Yes.
because if I tell you to do something, just do it.
Right.
Don't just do it. I mean,
Yeah.
and and I, in my heart of hearts, in my soul, I don't feel like God wants you blindly going anywhere. That is why he gives you, that's why he, that's why they want you to learn. They want you to study. They want you,
Mhm.
that's why I think that that's a man made. I mean, and we are fooling ourselves if we sit back and say the Bible is 100% God when man wrote it.
Yes. Yes.
And man could, you know what? I've remember when somebody told us that women can't make the hard decisions?
And here we are.
You cannot tell me that a man didn't have a bad day, kids got on his nerves, the donkey ate his hat. I mean, you
Okay.
know,
You know what? I'm over it. We're
I'm
slaughtering
over it.
everything. We're
Yes,
sacrificing donkeys. Keep
Yes.
playing. I may kill my child tomorrow. I'm taking them to the mountain. We're gonna see what happens. Like, oh my
I
God.
mean, so you're gonna tell me that somebody didn't have a bad day,
Mm,
or somebody didn't get mad at their kid or their donkey or their wife, or and say, you know what? I was gonna write this in here about her, but I ain't writing this about her because she done got under my skin today.
right. She don't deserve no chapter.
Exactly.
Like, okay,
It,
she was great, but I guess we not giving her a chapter.
exactly. Yeah, she did all that, but she don't deserve a chapter.
Deserve a chapter.
Yes.
Like, okay, so there's that. But
I
yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
so I think that what people have to understand is that if something questions you, makes you curious, look into it. I
Hmm.
mean, because I don't think that God is going to punish you for being curious. I don't think he wants us walking around ignorant.
I agree. But I think that for a lot of faith, it really requires people to have that blind faith. Because I was surprised, I still am surprised consistently at how many people haven't actually read the Bible.
Right.
And I was like, bro, like I spent years, night and day studying this, writing
Yes.
annotations, getting
Yes.
different versions of the Bible, and
Yes.
then learning that the Christian religion, most Abrahamic religions, was originally Sumerian religion that was
Yes.
just names changed.
Yes.
Like y'all didn't read it the whole thing through, and y'all just listen to what like a pastor or someone says, and y'all didn't y'all why like that's wild. So like I think that once people start asking more questions and truly searching for answers, I think that the reason I stopped originally reading the Bible was because one night I was praying and talking to God, and God said, I want you to find me outside of the Bible. Because I'd gotten too reliant on just reading the Bible for answers, that I was no longer searching for God in everyday things, right? And so when I started doing that, God looked way different than what I thought God did. God moved way differently than what I had imagined or was previously taught. And that was a huge re up in my faith in God, but not my faith in religion. Changed the game. And then I told you because I remember because you was like, how you know you got this? Whenever I was being diagnosed with a tumor, before I even knew what it was, as the doctor was saying you have a lymphoma, I heard this voice say, it's not gonna kill you. What a half you wasn't ready yet. And that's what I sent y'all the text. Don't freak out, I got cancer. And you was like, what the F you mean? Don't F and freak out, you got cancer. And I was like, Ma, I got this. You don't even know what the F you got yet. Like there was
And
a
you
lot
know,
of
but you was like, God got me, mama.
yeah. And you
And
was
I
like,
was just like,
you don't even know what you got. Like it was day one. It was just hour one for you, but I had already heard the voice. And then when I was going through chemo and everything, that was my time, mind you, a week before that time. And I don't think enough people know like the origin story of when I knew for certain because I had already been leading towards this. But when I knew for certain Christianity was no longer for me, about a week before I went to the hospital, I asked the universe because I didn't know how to address her. And I said, I want to know how my people were serving prior to colonialism. I literally posed that question because I had just finished my graduate degree, and a few of the classes were focused on Black literature, slave narratives, and reading the slaves talk about their religions before, and how a lot of slaves are talking about how they hid their religions in Christianity. And so it resonated with me for some reason. And so that was the question I asked the universe. And so during chemo, my little dot is off. That's not the point. During chemo, I had a lot of time to myself because people talk around you, but not a lot of people talk to you. So like the doctors would come in when I was in the hospital and they were like, this is a 29-year-old female. We don't know what she has. She doesn't look sick. Yeah, she doesn't look sick every day, right? So I had a lot of time to meditate. I had a lot of time to sit with God. I had a lot of time to talk to God. I had a lot of time to learn how to strengthen my gifts and use my gifts. And then when my doctor at the time said, that's the problem with you religious people. Mind you, he's a whole Muslim. He's like, that's the problem with you religious people. You just accept your outcome and be like, well, if God want me to die, I'm gonna die. And I said, that's how I know you don't know me yet. Right. But through that entire 9 months of treatment, 11 months of treatment, I got closer and closer and closer with my creator, my spirit team, my soul team. But that's when I realized Christianity wasn't for me. And people will be like, but it was during the time when you were sick. Shouldn't that have been a time you cling harder to God? I did, but not in that way. But that's when I knew this wasn't for me. So by the time I got out, I knew that the thing that God had said what was ready for me was ready for me. And like old me died through chemo and
Mm-hmm.
radiation at some point. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like, all right, girl, you ready for this? You ready to step into this stronger? I'm like, all right, let's do it. And like a lot of people don't know this, but the job I have now, I applied for a year before they actually called me to actually do the job. And so that year off was a year I was in chemo and radiation. And then right before radiation, they were like, why are you not working for us? And I was like, y'all never called me back. Like y'all said I had the job, but then I didn't hear anything. But like everything lined up. And for anyone who knows me, post divorce, anyone who's met me, like you're like the happiest person I've ever seen you as.
Because it is joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's not, you could even be, you could be having a bad day. You could be, you know, anything could be happening. I mean, I was shook in the airport, yes, but you had complete joy about it.
Oh yeah.
And I was shook because I was like, I ain't got no more money. I mean, but it's joy. I mean, and people ask me all the time, you know, with everything that goes on, or your nephew doing this, or your son doing this, or your daughter going through this. How, I said, because it's joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's joy. It doesn't mean it. Joy is something that it doesn't mean that my
Everything's
life has to
perfect.
be perfect,
Right.
or or everything has to be running smoothly for me to have joy. And I'm glad that I have finally got to that point in my life, because people used to affect me and I did not want that. That's why I used to tell you all the time, don't let them, even though it was still affecting me, I'd be like, don't let them people do that to you. Don't you let them do that to you. You
Okay,
got to
nobody
keep.
steal your joy. And I'm like, and can't.
Exactly. So I would always preach that to you, but then deep down inside, like, oh Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna get this $1,000 for this cheerleading camp. Lord help me, please, Jesus, please. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And something would happen. That's
Mm-hmm.
why something happened recently, and for some reason, I'm like, everything's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna be all right. I said, God has God has all, things may get a little grim, but God has always pulled us through. Why isn't He going to pull us through this?
Exactly. And and I think that's the thing. It's like whenever you are living in your truth, your faith, your joy is unshakable.
Right.
Right?
And it's your truth, not somebody
Exactly.
else's truth.
Exactly. And it seems like for me that once I hit about, I would say 20, between the years of 28 and 31, I got real comfortable in my truth.
Hmm.
And I think some of that is because y'all be like, I'm like, all right, I got something to tell you. Like, it ain't cancer, is it? No, it's just XYZ. Oh, well, I mean, go for
Oh,
it.
okay, we could do that. That ain't nothing. We got this.
Right. Like, cool. So that's why whenever, people like, oh, your parents know you're polyamorous. Yeah. Oh, okay. How did they take it? They were like, it ain't cancer, is it? I was like, no. And they're like, okay, well, you're good. I mean, what are we
Yeah,
doing here?
we good. It ain't
Have
cancer.
questions, but like, it's whatever. But it really does. And I think that living my life outside of fear and outside of fear of judgment, because those are two different things. One is being afraid to live, the other one is being afraid of how other people perceive me living, has been the healthiest decision I could have ever made.
Okay, but I mean, I know that we're your parents, but I never wanted you to feel like you have to live for yourself. I'm going to tell you something that my mama taught me
Mm,
years ago, is that you cannot live for somebody else or let or shape your life to fit into a box.
I
She did,
agree.
and because if you do, you're going to not be happy. You're not going to live your fullest. And I think she told me that because she was living in a box.
Yeah, but and I think another thing whenever we have these conversations, what we don't talk about is if you've never seen anyone do it, then you don't know how to do it. So like
Right.
I was talking to my therapist about this. For me, and I know that no one noticed that I was doing it because I was very good at doing it, is masking autism and ADHD. And y'all have dropped hints that y'all noticed it, but not in the way you think you have. So for instance, I did what I saw other people do and was deemed acceptable. So for instance, people be like, "Oh, Danielle didn't get in nearly as much trouble as as her brother did." I saw that when he got into it, I was like, "Okay, don't do that. Check." You know what I mean? So
Yes.
whenever that is your life because you're trying to mask and be normal, or be the version of you that people expect that's trouble free, we don't talk about how that limits our perception of what life looks like.
Exactly.
Because if you don't see the type of you that you want to be in other people, you just assume it's not allowed.
But I also know that
Hmm.
I have always been awkward. And as you were growing up, I was like, I don't want her. I'm going to teach her how to navigate popularity.
Hmm.
I'm going to teach her how to navigate these circles. And not that I want you to fit into a circle. I want you to be able to navigate where everybody's just like, oh, well, she's cool. Oh, well, that's cool. She may
Hmm.
not want to hang out with us, but this is, she is this person, because I know the awkwardness that I had as a child
Hmm.
growing up. And I wanted to make sure that you could navigate those.
And I think that was very healthy because it allowed me to be a chameleon in everything that I do now.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I think that at some point I took it on as also people pleasing.
Okay.
And then when I got older, I was like, girl, you don't have to people please, or you don't have to
But I
like
didn't,
be
but
this.
I felt like I didn't want you to people please. I just, okay, I know this sounds so horrible,
Hmm.
but I wanted you to be that person that's like, yeah, I know you like me, but you know what? I still don't want to spend time with you.
Ma, not you being like, yes, and really, ma?
Yeah, I
Really?
wanted, yeah, I wanted you to be that person that people were like, oh my gosh, she is so cool. Maybe we can get her to hang out with us. And you could be like, no, I don't want to, y'all cool and everything, but I still don't want to hang out with you.
See, but growing up, for fear of like people hating me, I'd be like, I mean, maybe I can fit it in between cheerleading and softball practice, but before school, maybe after school, like I have 15 minutes, I can do it. So like it was definitely that because my schedule was jam packed, but I was like, I don't want them to not think that I don't, because I like y'all. I mean, I like you enough, but like I'll make it work. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of the energy.
No, and see, that was not what I was trying to, I was
You
trying
now
to
you was trying
make,
to make me a whole hot mess, but
no,
I mean, if you want my company, I guess, but I don't
yes.
want your
I
company.
told,
So listen
listen,
up.
you ask anybody that's from my era, that that one part of that song where it says, I know I'm looking good, and everybody's just staring at me, and I'm just too good for these people.
Wow. see, see, no, I didn't get that at all. That was not where I was. I didn't know that was the goal. I did not know.
Yes, that was the goal. I wanted everybody to be like, oh, we want Danielle to come to our party. We want Danielle to hang out with us. And you'd be like, I'd rather read a book.
And I literally would rather read a book than do all of those things. But I
Listen, when you
totally
remember when you were when you were trying to sleep at a softball game, I don't know how you could lay on that little bit, that little
I can sleep
bleacher.
anywhere, Mom.
I know
Having
you
life
could,
taught me
but
that.
when they were like, "Oh, wake Danielle up, wake her up," and you said, "If you wake me up, you will not like me," and I was like, "Yes, got she there.
Not you saying like that's what I
That's
was
my
trying
baby."
to. My mama trying to raise a whole mean girl, and I was
No,
like, oh,
I didn't want you to be a mean girl. I wanted you to have your own, to be able to say what you were gonna do and weren't gonna do, and
mm,
not like I felt like I was a people pleaser. Like, okay, all right, I'll have sex with you even though I don't want to. That kind of thing. Yeah,
mm.
that was, and I didn't want you to be that. I wanted you to be able to stand up and be like, "Nah, dog, I'm good."
Yeah, I'm very much that person. But I feel like I did go through a phase of being like, I don't want to make too many waves if I see that it's not being perceived well around me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I definitely went through that. But at the same time, I wasn't going to compromise a lot of my integrity. So like I was still gonna tell you the truth. I was probably gonna try and say it better unless you told me you can handle like
the
if you was like,
brutal,
oh, just be
brutal
brutally
honesty.
honest with
I
me. I'd be
know.
like,
You,
sis, say less.
hey, you and your girlfriends hurt my feelings too much, and I would say, don't be brutally honest.
Right. It's
Just
like say
say, just say, do you wear this or do you not wear this? You don't need to wear. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know that my butt is doing this or my boobs are doing this because
but
y'all.
if that's what you want, that's what you want. Cause like if someone be like, D, like I know you feel comfortable right now, but you shouldn't be wearing this. Your butt is doing this. I'm like, and that's what it's supposed to be doing, sis. That's why I'm wearing it. Like you may not like if your butt do that, but that's why I wore this. So the butt could do it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my gosh.
And that's what you into. That's what you see what I'm saying? Like, listen.
Yes, but okay. So let's go back full circle around. So
Mhm.
I think that the reason that there are a lot of different religions is because they resonate with people in different ways. That's
Great.
like I remember when I heard some black people years ago talk about that we were, maybe our traditions and our religion was also Jewish or of the Jewish faith.
I was also telling him like where I read part of this one of the slave narratives, and he said it was closer to a Jewish faith and
Yes,
where they did holidays. Yeah.
yes. Would you go look at him? Don't bring him in, just look at him. But they said that when they were lighting the menorah, that black people were also lighting something.
Mhm.
They had like their, I don't know, their traditions that they were doing.
Mhm.
And then it was like different things that they said with their Jewish slave masters or owners or whatever, when they were doing certain things for the holidays, it was the same time they were doing certain things for the holidays.
Also, quick little insert here. Do you know Kwanzaa is uniquely African American?
Yeah, because it's only like 25 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was.
I feel like there's a lot of black people who be like, you know what, we just need our own thing. But anytime someone starts to start it, people
Did
don't.
wait a minute. Did you close the back door? Okay.
Anytime people start something that is strictly ours, other people feel like it deviates too much from the, oh, well, this isn't what we've been doing. Even when you find out that what you've been doing was uniquely ours,
Yes.
oh, well, now it's evil. So, like,
Yes.
I be like, bro, you said we needed our own thing. Someone has given us our own thing, like the African American flag. We have that. And I'm like, we have all the, but yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. And
But
it,
but whenever it's out of the ordinary or it's out of or somebody think that it is threatening their idea idea of what's supposed to go on, I
mm,
think that that's when it's evil or it's bad. I mean,
which is why.
because anything. All right. So, how about the? Oh my gosh, Danielle, what are the? Oh my, what are the people called that's in South Florida that
Oh,
cook?
the Black Israelites?
No, 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 no. They are the people that cook the really good food.
Haitians?
No, the white people.
Amish.
All right, so you have Amish people that Amish people that wear the long clothes, then you have the ones that wear regular clothes. You have the
Like
ones
the
that
Amish, the Mennonites.
yes. All
Yeah.
right, so the Amish is the really really strict. The Mennonites are not as strict.
They're like the Baptist of the Amish community where they be like,
Yes.
oh, they loose.
Yes. Because one of the Mennonites I used to work with, she said they're Amish people that will not wear zippers because zippers are supposed to be like evil, not good. Yep.
Zippers.
They only have buttons. All of their clothes have buttons on it.
Is it because zippers were made by Asian guys?
I have no clue. Or maybe it's zippers are quick to zip down and things can happen and you zip them back up real quick.
So
I
they don't use elastic either? I have so many questions.
no,
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 oh, they don't?
no.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But
Ooh.
so what you have to think of is that there are different there's different religions for different people, but there's different things that you think that somebody may think is evil that is not, that you will sit back and go, you think that's evil. All right, think about short shorts.
Mm-hmm.
How people back in the 60s, if a woman would wear short shorts, it was like, oh, she a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got people with booty shorts where their butt actually hanging out of the end of the shorts. It's
Mm-hmm.
like if these people would have saw you back in the 60s and the 70s, they would have knew you were the devil or
Well, in
of
the 60s, they did wear like it was a rebellious act to wear short shorts in the 60s.
right.
It was
Or how
cool.
about not to wear a bra?
I was living my best life braless. Braless and flawless. Just all out here.
Really?
But yeah. It's a Leah too though. You see it? It's a Leah. But also I think that I think that thinking of everyone needing to be under one religion to me feels like everyone needing to have one profession. If we
Right.
had a world full of doctors, who would do our plumbing? Who would do our
Right.
electrical? Who would teach our children? Who would help with communication? Who would be secretaries? Like there's these other things that need to be filled, these other positions.
That's right.
Having a world with multiple religions and spiritualities is a beautiful thing.
Yes. And
Like
also and also I think that we need to okay, and it might be wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong or right. We have black people, white people, Hispanic people, all these people.
mhm,
Everybody's not good.
mhm,
Everybody's not bad.
correct.
Everybody's not evil.
Mhm.
Everybody. So you're going to tell me that we have to put only these people are going to make it to heaven. Only these people are going to.
So hear me out, Ma. Let
Okay.
me put my hot tea down.
Oh Lord.
Hibiscus and chamomile with a hint of honey, by the way. Like that's that right there. That's the best tea I put together. That's my favorite combination. So I am a firm believer in the idea of reincarnation, right? And in reincarnation, I believe that everyone's soul group get together. So you're part of my soul group. We already talked about this, and your whole group says like, okay, here's our goal as a group. Individually, these are the things that I want to learn in this lifetime. So, in order for everyone to meet their individual goals and for our group to level up, this is the role I'm going to play. This is the role you're going to play in my life. This is the role I'm going to play in your life. You see what I'm saying? So, with that said, if you have a life in a soul group that is only good, you're going to be missing out on a lot of great lessons that your soul needs to grow. That your
Well,
whole
I learned a lot of lessons. Next time I'm gonna be good.
Ma, you gonna have to learn more lessons. Mind you, you chose everybody in your life, like with this theory, you chose everyone in your life to play that role.
Did I? But did I? I think that
Y'all
I
agree,
was.
y'all was like, yeah, this gonna be optimized. This is
No,
the
no. I'm gonna
optimum
tell you
thing.
what was happening. Y'all said y'all was meeting at 3, and I thought it was really like 3:45.
Because
And
you
I
always
showed
like,
up, and
that's
you
not
was
right.
like, and y'all was like, here, this is what's left. And I was like,
I was like, I'm glad she got here just in time because I was not about to be the mama again. She got me last time. She had a lot of mouth to say, a lot of lip. We gonna see what happened this go around. And you like, you know what? I don't even want to be the mom. No mom.
exactly, exactly that. And no matter what job you have now, you have still been the pickup mom.
I really have. I really and truly have. But yeah, so like I feel like it's inevitable for people to have um aspects of them that are undesirable in order for their soul group to grow. In
Exactly.
order for us to learn from them. Even if they're not in our soul group, our souls already knew who we were going to come in contact with, regardless of
I
what religion.
I think that some of the people that are just friends on the outside are part of our soul group. The person that you just reconnected with, that
Mhm.
person is definitely
I literally told them that. I told them, I'm like,
because
you got soulmate energy.
I have. Is it a shame to say because I've missed that person, even though I haven't been around that person in over 20 years?
No, I feel like that's legit. I feel like both of our families have missed each other. You know what I mean?
I really have. And
Yeah.
whenever I see anybody from that family, they're always like so loving and hugging and everything. Good.
So yeah, but I feel like they're definitely in our soul tribe though.
Yes.
But
Yes.
like when I say like people who aren't, just people we kind of like.
Pass through.
Exactly. Like the person at the store who gave you a discount on something, that made your day, right? That
Yes.
discount made your day, but they're
Yes.
probably not in your soul family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Oh,
And
your little friend that I met at the last at your birthday party,
uh-huh.
soul person.
I know. I
Yeah.
just don't I just I just you know how it's like you try to figure out where you know their soul from?
Don't try to figure it out. They're where they need to be.
And it's like when I first met them, it's like all of a sudden, it's like I've known you
And
forever.
like literally, we hit it off pretty immediately. I was like, okay, cool.
Yes.
And then the other person who I met that was brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I first saw them and I just started cracking jokes immediately, I was like,
Yes.
"We felt the vibe. The vibe was right. The vibe was vibing."
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because even the person that brought him in said, I don't understand how y'all just hug and talk and I'm jealous. And I said, don't be jealous. I said, I just know. I said, I don't know what it is.
But even they
And
were brought in.
yeah, but she said the way that I connected with him was like he was my nephew and I was his aunt.
Hmm. But again, they're not blood. Like she's not blood either. And we immediately took her in.
Right. But she was just like, how you gonna hug? How you gonna hug him first? I said, well, he walked through the door. She's like, yeah, because he pushed me out the way.
That's funny.
And
But
I
that,
was like, and then she said that she met like one of his aunts, and
hmm
she said she reminded me of you. She's like,
hmm
everything about her
hmm
reminded me of you. She said, now I understand why he feels the way he does around you.
Yeah. When our soul knows it knows, and it doesn't know how it knows all the time, but it just like it's like, oh, that's it. That's the person. I know
That
this person. Yeah.
right.
So like it gets it. And that's how like
Do you think that we meet everybody
yes.
that we're supposed to meet?
Yes. And
That
like
we get together for some reason?
and here's the wild part. I get emotional. I ain't gonna get emotional. There was a particular family member who I'd been in this part of my family since literally since I was born.
Hmm.
But I'd never met this particular family member because I'd never met that person's part of the family.
Hmm.
And then the moment I met this particular person, we immediately hit it off. And we were inseparable that entire week that I was with them. And then found out less than a year later they died. But I was like that moment that we had, that entire week that we were together, and we hit it off, and I was like, they got the same soul, the living free, free and making your own rules while growing up in a religious family. Like they had the same soul, and they were in a stage of life that I had already been through. Like they had just gotten divorced, and they were like navigating life and refining themselves after being married for like 25 years. And I was like, oh, I see so much of me in you. And but even though I'm the youngest one in this situation, so when they died, I was like, bro, I just got to get to know them. But
Mhm.
it was just like, no, your soul did the thing it was supposed to do. Now that person's an ancestor, keep it moving. Next. And it's like, oh, but
Yep.
I want more. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yep.
those moments where it's just like, no, I got you. I'm gonna make sure you see all the people, do all the things. But that's
Hmm.
why I'm also very adamant about traveling. Because she's 2 years older than me. Same exact birthday. The girl I met in Vietnam. We see each other every Sunday where we
Hmm.
write together or you do our creative projects together. If I would have never went to Vietnam, I would have never met this young lady.
That's right. That's right.
So like the if you allow the universe to take shape whatever way it needs to in your life, you will see all the people, meet all the people, do all the
That's
things.
right. That's right.
But you got to have that trust, and this goes back to the original topic. It may look different than the people around you, and so you really need to make sure that the people you're allowing in your circle don't hold you back from fulfilling what is for you.
And also ask questions, be
Yes.
curious.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, my food is cooking, and I mean, our food is done. So I need to feed my family.
Not you saying feed your family like they gonna go hungry. Mind you, all of them are old enough to feed themselves. Just for the record.
But all right, listen, you know my mama and you know me. We
Hmm.
have to sit at the table and we have to do this the right way.
Hmm.
Because this is good Southern food today. This ain't so- this ain't just food you picking up at the
At
restaurant. This
the
is good
mhm,
Southern. This is made with love. Remember,
mhm.
hey, ask your little friend EW.
Oh Lord,
Remember,
I have not talked to that man in years. Oh my goodness.
but remember when he asked his mama, "Do you make our food with love? Because it don't taste like."
See, my whole crew was just they was out for blood. They was like, I need to be honest with you. Your food does not taste like it has love. Like,
Don't taste like Danielle mama food, because her food, because that's what I and P.S. so funny because she even got me. She's like, you know that he told me that my food didn't taste like yours because yours was made with love. I was like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
All
The
right, Ma.
same,
So let's go
but
ahead and
listen, the same way that you was born with the same way I kept you in me for an extra 2 weeks, so
talk
your
how to
color,
right skin color.
yeah, so you could have the right shade of brown.
And it worked.
That was not how that worked, but
Well,
it
it worked
worked.
in the summer. In the winter, my brown be looking funny. We can talk about that later. Okay.
All
So
right.
thank you for everyone who came today. May you leave with the same energy you came with. May we leave with the same energy we came with.
Amen. Amen.
And one more. May you find the path you're supposed to be on. All right.
Amen.
Okay. All right, Ma. I love you.
Love you too, baby. See
Have a
ya.
good day. See ya.